Have you noticed how society tries to put women over 70 into a neat little box of limitations? After 30 years as a life coach specializing in senior wellness, I've witnessed something remarkable. The most vibrant, fulfilled women are those who've abandoned outdated beliefs about aging. Today, I'm sharing 12 things that simply don't make sense anymore at this magnificent stage of life. These insights have helped thousands of my female clients rediscover joy, purpose, and freedom. The last one especially might completely transform how you see yourself and your future. Whether you're in your 70s, approaching them, or care about someone who is, these revelations will show you exactly why conventional wisdom often gets aging all wrong. Before we begin, I'd love to know where you're watching from. Drop your city in the comments below. And if you want more evidence-based wisdom like this, hit that subscribe button and notification bell. Now, let's start with the most crucial misconception that might be limiting your quality of life right now. Number 1. Health negligence. Let me be direct. Neglecting your health after 70 makes absolutely no sense. I've seen too many remarkable women put everyone else's needs before their own, believing that at their age, certain aches and pains are simply normal or expected. But here's what the latest research from the National Institutes of Health reveals. Women who take a proactive approach to their health after 70 experience up to 8 more years of independent living compared to those who take a passive approach. Take Margaret, a 74-year-old retired teacher from Boston who came to me after avoiding doctors for years. "What's the point?" she'd say. "They'll just find something wrong and put me on more medication." She ignored her worsening joint pain, dizzy spells, and fatigue, dismissing them as just part of aging. But after her daughter couldn't reach her one morning because Margaret had fallen and couldn't get to the phone, everything changed. We worked together on a gentle health transformation. She started with small steps, scheduling that long overdue checkup, organizing her medications in a weekly pill organizer, and keeping a simple symptom journal. Within 3 months, her primary care physician had adjusted her blood pressure medication, recommended physical therapy for her specific joint issues, and discovered a vitamin deficiency that was causing her fatigue. Here's what I tell all my clients. Taking charge of your health isn't about running marathons or embarking on extreme diets. It's about purposeful attention. Schedule those regular checkups and actually go to them. Don't dismiss new symptoms as just aging, write them down, and discuss them with your doctor. Find enjoyable ways to stay active, even if it's just a 10-minute morning stretch routine or walking around your neighborhood with a friend. Stay hydrated throughout the day, even when you don't feel thirsty. By addressing her health proactively, Margaret regained her independence. She now walks without pain, has energy to play with her grandchildren, and even started a small container garden on her patio. "I wasted years feeling uncomfortable," she told me recently, "when I could have been feeling vibrant all along." What small health step have you been putting off? Remember, it's never too late to take control of your well-being, and it's the foundation that makes everything else in life possible. 2. Financial avoidance. Money talks are uncomfortable, but financial uncertainty is worse, especially after 70 when your earning options may be limited. Many women I've counseled were raised in an era when discussing money was considered impolite or was handled by their husband. But here's a startling reality. According to the National Council on Aging, nearly 60% of women over 70 aren't confident they have enough money to maintain their lifestyle throughout retirement, and women are 80% more likely than men to face poverty in their later years. Barbara, a 72-year-old widow from Chicago, came to me in a state of constant anxiety. "I have no idea what I have, what I owe, or how long my money will last," she confessed. She'd been married for 47 years, and her husband had managed everything financial. After his passing, she avoided looking at bank statements, ignored retirement account notifications, and felt physically ill whenever bills arrived. Together, we took a gentle approach to financial clarity. First, we created a simple one-page document listing her income sources, essential expenses, and accounts. Nothing complicated, just basic awareness. Then we scheduled a consultation with a financial advisor who specialized in seniors. The advisor wasn't there to sell her anything, just to explain her current situation in plain English and suggest small improvements. The transformation in Barbara was remarkable. For the first time in 3 years, I slept through the night, she told me. Just knowing where I stand removed that constant weight of fear. She now manages a straightforward monthly budget, has automated her essential bill payments, and understands exactly what her financial future looks like. You don't need to become a financial expert overnight. Start by gathering your financial information in one place. Know your monthly income and essential expenses. Consider consulting with a fee-based financial advisor who specializes in seniors, or utilize free resources at your local senior center. And remember, it's never too late to gain clarity about your finances. The peace of mind it brings is priceless. Have you taken a clear-eyed look at your financial picture lately? Share in the comments if this is an area you've been avoiding. You're certainly not alone. 3. Fear of technology. Technology isn't your enemy. It's your ally for independence, especially after 70. I've heard countless women tell me, "I'm too old to learn that," or "those gadgets aren't for people my age." But research from the Stanford Center on Longevity shows that seniors who embrace technology experience less isolation, better access to healthcare resources, and report higher overall life satisfaction. In fact, adults over 70 who regularly use technology show cognitive benefits equivalent to people several years younger. Sarah, a 76-year-old former elementary school teacher from Phoenix, once described smartphones as complicated contraptions designed to make me feel incompetent. She avoided technology entirely, relying on her children to manage anything digital. When her daughter moved across the country, Sarah faced a difficult choice: learn to use video calling or miss seeing her grandchildren grow up. Her transformation began with one simple goal: making a video call. She didn't try to master everything at once. Her daughter helped her set up a tablet with large icons and simplified settings. They practiced together during daily phone calls. "The first time I saw my grandson's face light up when he recognized me on the screen," Sarah told me, "I knew this was worth the effort." If you're hesitant about technology, start with a clear purpose. What specific benefit would you like to gain? Maybe it's video calling family, ordering groceries online during bad weather, or accessing telehealth services. Begin with just that one application and master it before moving on. Look for devices designed with seniors in mind, with larger text and simplified interfaces. Many libraries and senior centers offer free technology classes specifically for older adults, taught at a comfortable pace. Today, Sarah not only makes video calls, but also reads ebooks, plays word games that keep her mind sharp, and even joined an online gardening group. "I feel connected to the world again," she says. "And I love surprising my children with new things I've learned to do." Remember, technology is just a tool. You don't have to understand every feature to benefit from it. What's one technology that might make your life easier or more connected? I'd love to hear in the comments about your technological triumphs or challenges. Chapter 4. Toxic relationships. Life's too precious for draining relationships, yet I meet so many women over 70 who continue to tolerate connections that deplete rather than enrich them. After 7 decades of living, why spend another day with people who leave you feeling worse? A groundbreaking study from the University of California found that the quality of our relationships after 70 has a stronger impact on our health than our cholesterol levels, blood pressure, or even smoking habits. In fact, researchers documented that positive social connections can increase longevity by up to 50%. Eleanor, a 75-year-old retired nurse from Minneapolis, spent every Thursday for 8 years having lunch with a former colleague who constantly criticized her choices, appearance, and family. I dreaded those Thursdays, Eleanor confided, but I felt obligated because we'd known each other for so long. Plus, at my age, I thought I should be grateful for any friendship. Each lunch left her emotionally exhausted and sometimes physically ill with stress. During one of our sessions, Eleanor realized something profound. At 75, her time was more precious than ever. Why waste it feeling diminished? She decided to gradually distance herself from this draining relationship and instead deepen connections with people who genuinely appreciated her. She joined a watercolor class she'd been putting off and found kindred spirits who celebrated her creativity. Setting boundaries doesn't have to mean dramatic confrontations. Start by limiting time with draining individuals. Practice simple phrases like, "I'm not available that day," without elaborate explanations. Redirect conversations when they turn negative. Remember that no is a complete sentence. You've earned the right to decline invitations that don't bring you joy. Eleanor now fills her social calendar with people who energize rather than exhaust her. "I feel lighter," she told me recently. "I didn't realize how much those negative interactions were affecting my overall happiness. Now I have more energy for the people and activities I truly love." Your well-being matters. You deserve relationships that honor your worth and add value to your life. Think about your social circle. Is there someone who consistently leaves you feeling drained? Perhaps it's time to reconsider that relationship's place in your life. 5. Perfectionism. Perfectionism is exhausting at any age, but after 70, it becomes particularly burdensome. I've counseled countless women who still dust the tops of ceiling fans, apologize for a single dirty dish in the sink, or refuse to attend events unless they look just right. The American Psychological Association has found that perfectionism doesn't diminish with age. In fact, many women carry these exacting standards throughout their lives. What's particularly troubling is that perfectionism in older adults is strongly linked to increased anxiety, depression, and even physical health problems due to the constant stress it creates. Patricia, a 78-year-old retired teacher from Denver, was known for her impeccable home and appearance. She would spend hours preparing for visitors, decline spontaneous invitations if she wasn't presentable, and exhaust herself maintaining standards few people even noticed. After her husband passed away, these perfectionistic tendencies intensified. "I think I believed if I kept everything perfect, I could somehow control my life when so much felt out of control," she confided. The turning point came during a particularly difficult winter when Patricia's arthritis flared badly. She simply couldn't maintain her usual standards. When friends visited anyway and enjoyed themselves despite the unpolished silver and store-bought cookies, Patricia had a revelation. Nobody cared about the things I'd been killing myself to perfect. They just wanted my company. If perfectionism is stealing your joy, start with small experiments in letting go. Leave one task undone and notice that the world doesn't end. Practice saying good enough when something meets a reasonable standard. When self-critical thoughts arise, ask yourself, would I judge a dear friend by these harsh standards? Most importantly, determine what truly deserves your limited energy and what doesn't. Patricia now embraces what she calls joyful imperfection. She's redirected the energy once spent on perfectionism toward a community garden project she loves. "My house isn't as spotless," she laughs, "but my life is so much fuller. I wish I'd given myself this freedom decades ago." Think about your own life. What unrealistic standards are you holding on to? What might be possible if you redirected that energy toward what truly brings you joy? Remember, at this stage of life, the goal isn't perfection, it's authentic living. 6. Overcommitment. Your time is precious, spend it wisely. After 70, every day becomes even more valuable, yet I've watched countless women fill their calendars with obligations they don't enjoy, driven by habit or a sense of duty. Research from the Mayo Clinic shows that chronic overcommitment in older adults leads to elevated stress hormones, disrupted sleep patterns, and even accelerated cognitive decline. Remarkably, women over 70 are more likely than any other demographic to volunteer beyond their energy limits, often to their own detriment. Ruth, a 73-year-old grandmother from Atlanta, came to me exhausted and frustrated. Her weekly schedule included church committee meetings, hospital volunteering, 3 different book clubs, babysitting grandchildren for multiple families, and neighborhood association duties. "I feel like I'm drowning," she admitted, "but I've always been the person everyone counts on. How can I start saying no now?" Together, we created what Ruth calls her joy inventory, rating each commitment on a simple scale of 1 to 10 for how much genuine satisfaction it brought her. The results were eye-opening. Some activities she'd maintained for years scored only a 2 or 3, while others brought consistent joy. Ruth began the delicate process of pruning her schedule, focusing first on releasing the lowest-scoring commitments. If you're feeling overextended, practice gentle but clear refusals. "That sounds wonderful, but I'm not taking on new commitments right now." Or, "I've enjoyed being part of this, but I need to step back." Remember that saying no to one thing means saying yes to something else, perhaps rest, spontaneity, or activities that truly nourish you. Ruth now maintains a balanced calendar with meaningful commitments and precious downtime. "I've discovered something wonderful," she told me. "When I do less, I actually accomplish more of what matters. And surprisingly, people respect me more, not less, when I honor my limits." What's one commitment you maintain out of obligation rather than joy? Perhaps it's time to reconsider its place in your life and reclaim that energy for things that truly matter to you. 7. Beauty standards. True beauty isn't about looking younger, it's about looking alive and authentic. For decades, the beauty industry has profited from women's insecurities, selling us creams, procedures, and products that promise to erase the very evidence of our experiences. But there's a profound cultural shift happening. Research from the Gerontological Society of America shows that societies that value the wisdom and beauty of aging women have better outcomes for women's mental health across all age groups. The fixation on youth isn't just expensive, it robs us of celebrating the richness that comes with decades of living. Helen, a vibrant 77-year-old from Seattle, spent thousands annually on anti-aging treatments until an encounter with a photographer changed everything. Selected for a Beauty at Every Age portrait series, Helen initially declined, saying she wasn't ready, meaning she wanted more treatments first. The photographer gently challenged her. "I want to photograph exactly who you are today, a woman with 7 decades of life, love, and wisdom in her face." When Helen saw her portrait, she wept. "For the first time in years, I recognized myself. Not some artificial version trying to look 50, but the real me, with laugh lines, silver hair, and eyes full of everything I've experienced." That moment began Helen's journey to authentic beauty. Consider embracing what makes you uniquely you at this stage. Find clothing that combines comfort with personal expression. Develop skincare routines focused on health rather than youth. Experiment with hairstyles that work with, not against, your natural texture and color. Surround yourself with people who appreciate authentic beauty at every age. Helen donated her unused cosmetics to a women's shelter and invested instead in art classes, something she'd always wanted to try. "I feel more beautiful now than I did trying to erase my age," she shared. "There's something incredibly attractive about a woman who's comfortable in her own skin." What would change if you redirected the energy spent on looking younger toward expressing who you truly are? How might you begin celebrating the face that reflects your remarkable journey? Remember, radiance comes not from perfection, but from authenticity. 8. Clutter attachment. Holding on to stuff means holding on to stress, yet many women after 70 find themselves surrounded by decades of accumulated possessions. The attachment is understandable. These items represent memories, investments, and times when you were needed. However, research from Princeton University Neuroscience Institute reveals something profound. Physical clutter competes for your attention, increases stress hormones, and actually impairs your ability to focus and process information. For women over 70, living in cluttered spaces has been linked to higher anxiety, poorer sleep quality, and even decreased mobility due to navigation hazards. Martha, a 76-year-old widow from Oregon, lived in a home filled with 45 years of memories. Every drawer, closet, and spare room overflowed with items she couldn't part with. Her late husband's clothing, adult children's school projects, decades-old magazines, and countless just-in-case items. I felt overwhelmed every time I walked through my front door, she confessed, but the thought of letting things go seemed impossible. Each item felt connected to someone or something important. The turning point came when Martha's granddaughter couldn't stay overnight because there was no space in the guest room. Martha realized her attachment to things was limiting her ability to create new memories. We started with a gentle approach, just 15 minutes daily in one small area, asking 3 simple questions. Do I use this now? Zrenia, does this bring me joy? Zrenia, and would someone else benefit from this more than me? If decluttering feels overwhelming, start with creating just one peaceful space, perhaps your bedside table or favorite chair area. Consider taking photos of sentimental items before donating them. Remember, letting go honors the past while creating space for your present life. Martha now lives in a home with breathing room. She kept truly meaningful items, but released the rest. The strangest thing happened, she told me. As I let go of physical things, I found the memories actually became clearer and more precious. And now my grandchildren can visit anytime. What small area in your home could you declutter this week? How might your daily life improve with just a little more open space? The freedom that comes from simplifying can be truly transformative. 9. Opinion anxiety. Others' opinions matter less than your joy, yet I've counseled countless women over 70 who still filter their choices through the lens of what will people think. Whether it's wearing colorful clothing, trying a new hairstyle, or expressing an unpopular viewpoint, the fear of judgment keeps many women from living authentically. Psychologists call this the spotlight effect, our tendency to overestimate how much attention others pay to our appearance and behavior. Studies show this anxiety actually increases for many women after 70, precisely when they've earned the freedom to care less about external validation. Dorothy, a 74-year-old retired accountant from Michigan, spent decades living cautiously. She wore only appropriate colors, avoided drawing attention to herself, and rarely shared her true opinions. I was raised to be agreeable, she explained. Good girls didn't rock the boat. Even when alone, Dorothy found herself making choices based on imagined judgments rather than personal preference. The transformation began with a simple red hat. Dorothy had always loved the color red, but considered it too flashy for a woman her age. During our sessions, she purchased a bright red hat as an experiment, just to wear at home. Soon she ventured outside with it, expecting criticism. Instead, she received compliments and questions about where to find a similar one. This small step opened the door to greater authenticity in other areas of her life. If you find yourself constrained by concern about others' opinions, start with small experiments in authenticity. Choose one area to express your true preferences, perhaps at home where stakes feel lower. Practice gentle responses to unwanted opinions. I appreciate your perspective, but this works for me. Remember, those who judge most harshly are often struggling with their own insecurities. Dorothy now wears what she loves, speaks her mind respectfully, and has discovered a passion for community theater, something she'd always been too self-conscious to try. The most surprising thing, she told me, is discovering that most people are too focused on their own lives to judge mine. And those who do judge, their opinions matter far less than my happiness. What authentic expression have you been holding back? How might your life expand if you released the need for others' approval? At this stage of life, your primary audience should be yourself. Chapter 10. Fear of Aging. Aging isn't your enemy, it's your badge of honor. Every wrinkle and silver hair represents adventures taken, challenges overcome, and wisdom earned. Yet our youth-obsessed culture has convinced many women that aging itself is something to fear, hide, and fight against. Research from the Yale School of Public Health reveals something extraordinary. Women with positive attitudes about aging live an average of 7.5 years longer than those with negative perceptions. Even more remarkably, this positive mindset appears to provide greater longevity benefit than not smoking, maintaining healthy weight, or regular exercise. Grace, an 81-year-old former professor from Vermont, spent her 60s and early 70s dreading each birthday. She avoided looking in mirrors, declined invitations to reunions, and never told anyone her age. I saw aging as nothing but loss, she shared. Loss of beauty, ability, relevance. I was terrified of becoming invisible. Everything changed when Grace reluctantly attended her 55th college reunion. There, she reconnected with classmates who embraced their age with humor, gratitude, and purpose. One woman in particular, stylish, engaged, and proudly 80, became Grace's inspiration. She wasn't trying to look younger. She was fully inhabiting her age with joy. I wanted that freedom. To cultivate your own positive aging mindset, start by monitoring your language. Replace "despite my age" with "because of my experience." Surround yourself with positive aging role models. Celebrate the wisdom, perspective, and authenticity that can only come with decades of living. Grace now begins each birthday celebration by listing new freedoms and insights that came with the previous year. I've stopped seeing aging as diminishment, she says. Now I see it as continuous growth, just in different directions. What's one aspect of aging that's brought unexpected gifts to your life? How might acknowledging these benefits change your relationship with growing older? 11th, adventure avoidance. It's never too late for new adventures, yet many women after 70 hesitate to try new things, assuming that window of opportunity has closed. This adventure avoidance is often based on the misconception that learning capacity diminishes with age. However, research from the Harvard Medical School shows the opposite is true. The brain continues to form new neural connections throughout life, and novel experiences are particularly powerful stimulants for cognitive health. Studies reveal that seniors who regularly engage in new activities show significantly better memory function and lower rates of dementia. Jane, a 79-year-old retired school administrator from Maine, had always defined herself by her career and family roles. When both ended, retirement and her children's independence, she struggled with purpose. I found myself saying, "I'm too old for that," whenever opportunities arose, she admitted. It became my automatic response. Everything changed when Jane's granddaughter asked for help with a photography project. Despite initial reluctance, Jane discovered she had a natural eye for composition. This small taste of learning rekindled her curiosity. She joined a senior photography club, took workshops, and eventually exhibited her work locally. Start your own adventure with small, manageable steps. Choose something you've always been curious about, but dismissed. Community centers, libraries, and online platforms offer countless opportunities specifically designed for mature learners. Remember, the goal isn't mastery, but enjoyment and growth. Jane now photographs wildlife throughout New England. "I wish I hadn't wasted time believing I was too old to begin," she reflects. Some of life's greatest adventures are waiting in the chapters we haven't written yet. What new experience have you been curious about but hesitant to try? The joy of discovery doesn't diminish with age. It deepens. 12th, battle taking. Not every battle needs fighting, yet many women over 70 continue engaging in conflicts that drain their energy without changing outcomes. After 7 decades of life, you've earned the wisdom to be selective about where you invest your emotional resources. The psychological concept of ego depletion shows we have limited emotional energy each day. Using it on unnecessary conflicts means having less available for what truly matters. Alice, a 75-year-old grandmother from Texas, was known as the family mediator. Every disagreement between her adult children, every neighborhood dispute, and every customer service issue became her personal crusade. "I felt responsible for fixing everything," she explained. "If I didn't step in, who would?" This constant battle-taking left her exhausted and resentful. The transformation began when Alice's doctor warned her about the physical toll of chronic stress. We worked together on determining which situations truly required her involvement and which didn't. She learned to ask, "Is this my problem to solve? Will my intervention help or complicate things? Will this matter in a month?" Practice stepping back from conflicts that don't directly affect you. When family members disagree, resist the urge to mediate unless asked. Create a mental waiting period before engaging in potentially stressful situations. Alice now reserves her energy for meaningful moments, mentoring young women, enjoying her grandchildren, and pursuing her own interests. "There's such peace in letting go of battles that aren't mine," she reflects. "I wish I'd learned this decades ago." What recent conflict could you have stepped away from? The freedom to choose your battles might be the most valuable wisdom of all. After 7 decades of living, you've earned the freedom to rewrite the rules. Each of these 12 mindset shifts opens the door to a more authentic, joyful life. Start with just one change, perhaps letting go of perfectionism or setting a healthy boundary. Notice how much lighter you feel, how much more energy you have for what truly matters. Remember, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. It's never too late to shed what no longer serves you and embrace what brings you joy. Which of these resonated most with you? Share in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more wisdom on living your best life after 70.